Hello everybody, back with Eeriearachnids here on episode number 2 of the Eeriearachnids Tarantula Worldwide Tarantula Collection Tour. This is going to be Mexico. We're just going to kind of filter down through Mexico, down through Central America, Panama, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, before we jump into South America, because there'll be, South America will have a bigger bulk of the tarantulas, Venezuela, Chile, Peru, Brazil, all the, what do we got? I said Bolivia, right? All the countries down through South America. I think I have more from South America than I do anywhere else, I think, but continentally anyway. But I think Mexico is the one that I have the most tarantulas from any one country, but we'll find that out as we go. So this is the smallest sling that I own. Well, no, not really. I guess the Dolichothelys diamentinensis is about the same size as this one. This is the Brachypelma albiceps. This one's named Oro, which of course is Spanish for gold. Yeah, so this we're going to go through these quick. I'm going to feed a few of the larger ones as we go, just a couple of them, because we might need to feed them to get them to come out. But yeah, so there's going to be some species that you'll see from the Brachypelma genus that are in different videos because they're actually not from Mexico. There's some from Guatemala, some from Honduras, some from Nicaragua. So we'll get those guys, of course, the ones that I own. And again, I don't know what's going to happen this weekend. There is one Brachypelma that I might look at if I see it, the Epicynurium, I think it is. Yeah, we'll find out what goes on. So there may be a update to this video later on, but yeah, we're going to get this out today just because of the 1,000 subscribers. We finally hit it. Yay! Thank you to everybody. So let's move on. Okay. So this is the Brachypelma auratum, which is actually a rather skittish little sling since its last molt. It's actually a pretty good feeder. It's been doing really, really well. I need to get water in its water dish, even though it just evaporates. I never see it in it, but you know how it is. You got to give them a little bit of water. I'm expecting some tattoo ink pot, so be able to get some of these bigger, water bottle lids out of some of these smaller enclosures and put those ones in. That'll be a little bit more size appropriate. But this is the Brachypelma auratum. I don't know the common name for this one. I think it's like the Mexican giant red leg or a giant red knee is what I think it is, but I'm not 100% positive. And of course the last one, the Brachypelma albiceps, is the Mexican gold. So Brachypelma auratum. I don't know that I named this one, to be honest with you. So yeah, we're just going to go with their actual. If I remember to say their names, I will, but again, I didn't name all of them. Well, most of my brackies I did, but I don't think I named this one. Okay, let's move on to the next. Okay, so this is one of the 2 Brachypelma homoris I have. This is the smaller one, of course. This is Milagro. Again, this is the one that came in that wasn't moving. I thought for sure it was dead. Put it in an enclosure, put it, up higher, in a little bit warmer area, went to work, came back, and it was crawling around. So, yeah, it came in early in the morning, and I notified the seller, and she's like, "Well, let's see what happens, and we'll go from there." But it ended up coming through, and it's done well. Very good eater. Probably could feed it right now, but you can see it really doesn't need it. So I'm expecting this one to go through a pre-molt phase here pretty soon. Probably take another meal before it does that. But Brachypelma homori, the Mexican red knee. Okay, so this one we got to do just a tad bit different, and please forgive the shaking of the enclosure because I have to hold it. This is the Brachypelma classy. This is Thaisa, the Mexican pink. I can't wait for this little one to molt again so it starts to show some of those colors. You can see where the patterning is going to come in, but they have that lighter colored, pinkish colored leg. They're really, really cool looking tarantulas. This was a huge want list of mine. I ended up with 2. One didn't make it through shipping, but this one was okay. I've had this one for a while, and it hasn't molted in forever. One of the slowest growing tarantulas next to my Lasiodorides polycuspulatus. So Brachypelma homori, Brachypelma classy, the Mexican pink. Okay, this is one of 2 of the Brachypelma baumgartenis that I have. This one is Naranja. This is they're both about the same size, to be honest with you, but I believe both of them to be female. So these are the ones that that I might get lucky with. Again, the only one that I've had that's molted that I've suspected as a female, other than these two, is my Brachypelma albopilosum Honduran, which you won't see in this video, of course, because she's not from Mexico. But I haven't confirmed her. So, yeah. So these two are both suspected. So this is Naranja. This is the one I've had the longest. And then Ina will be coming up next. Yeah, they're really good eaters. They're really, really pretty. They're really hard to distinguish between these guys and the Bamies. There's a few little features that you can look for, but there's some things that people look for that actually aren't a distinguishing feature. So it is very difficult. I have to trust the people that sold them to me, of course, and that probably sold the babies to them, that they actually are Baumgarteni. So we have to just take their word for it. That's what you have to do when you buy slings. You just have to kind of, blind faith it. But these are called the Mexican Orange. Again, they're one of my favorites because these two both have really, really distinguishable characteristics to them. Their mannerisms. This one's a little bit less of a killer attitude than the other one, than Ina. Ina's a little bit more aggressive with food. But this gal here, or hopefully this gal here, has been pretty good as far as eating is concerned. And these guys, she's a water bowl tipper. Again, once I get these ink pots in, I can get rid of these things and use those. I think we'll be a little bit better off with those than these big, especially in these smaller enclosures, these big bottle caps. Okay, let's get Ina. So as I was opening the lid, Ina decided to come back behind this piece of cork bark that I wedged in here just to give her a hiding spot when I first put her in here. When I put her in here, I put this is one of my smallest favorite pieces of wood that I ever found. My daughter and I came across this out in the woods, and it's got that perfect concaveness to it, so it's kind of half rounded, not completely like a cork bark is, but it does have a half round aspect to it, and of course you can see how it gets wider towards the end. But it had that cool, that shape right there, that fork shape, and you could dig down in there and give them a starter burrow, which she has not used whatsoever. Neither one of my Baumgartenis has dug. Neither one of them. The Classy has. Neither one of my Hamoris really have dug either. And we'll get to some of the other ones, and you'll be able to see. I have one Amelia that does and one Amelia that doesn't. So it's kind of hard. That's why I say that they have different characteristics between them. She is out in the open 90% of the time, but because I was bugging her enclosure, she decided to go behind her little refuge here and pretend like we can't see her. So we'll see if we can get some videos of her later on. Again, they're good eaters, so they're always in feeding videos. You don't have to worry about not ever seeing them. So, okay, let's proceed. Okay, next up is the Brachypelma Amelia. This is Sable. This is the smaller of the two, and the one that I'm kind of hoping is a female. With my Brachypelma luck, probably not, but I can still hold out hope. We haven't had a good molt of sex from this one yet, so we're not 100% positive. Definitely know that the other one is a male. Well, that one will be coming up soon. But she was just out, and again, of course, once I move the enclosure, she goes right down into her den. And she is an underground tarantula. She has dug out an area down through the cork bark and off to the right. So she will go down there and take a right. So sometimes I don't even know where she's at. Yeah, again, Amelias are my favorite Brachypelmas. There's so many Brachypelmas that I love. These ones, definitely the Hamoris, the Smithies. They're all up there on my list. I like all of them. But I think the patterning on these ones and the size, because these only get about 4 inches, so they're not very big, and they're rather on the docile side of Brachypelmas. Now, again, you don't know what's going to happen from tarantula to tarantula, but I see that these ones seem to be a little bit more timid and a little bit more probably acceptance of handling, if that's what you want to do with them. I have not held any of my Brachypelmas on intentionally. Anyway, I've not held any of them, so I don't have experience to give you with handling them. But if I had to, the Amelia would be the one I'd probably start with. Definitely not the Classy. The Classy is very, very skittish. The Vagans can be a tad bit more defensive and definitely a little bit more apt to bolt than some of the other Mexican Brachypelma. So I would say these ones would probably be the top of the list. And Shortdairy too. Shortdairies are very, very calm, and we'll see that one probably in its burrow too. Yeah, so okay, let's move on. Okay, folks, this is Shadow. This is the Brachypelma Shortdairy. I'm not sure if we can get him to come out or not, because he tends to like to stay down there. But we will try and feed this guy. If you like black tarantulas, this is going to be the Brachypelma for you. They tend to be black like Grammostola pulchra. They don't get as big. Again, these are probably only around the 4-inch size. Let's see if we can get the cricket to go down. Oh yeah, he got it. At least we know he's alive because he moved. Or did you miss it, little guy? Yeah, these are called the Mexican Black Velvet. And again, he likes to stay underground. He is not a big out and observe me kind of tarantula. He was until I moved him into this enclosure. His last enclosure, he was out all the time. Put him in here, and he molted. And once he molted, he's down underneath now. So, yeah. Again, Brachypelma tend to dig. They tend to, well, they do in wild everywhere. They're in burrows everywhere. They don't just sit out and live on the ground like they do in our enclosure. Got the hiccups again. Can you believe this? But yeah, so this one definitely is a rather skittish guy. Is a male, and again, I wish that you guys could see them, because doing a tarantula tour again, and I warned everybody about this in the last video, I believe, that there's going to be a lot of times that I do some of these tour videos, and we're not going to be able to see them very well. And I'm not going to try and poke them out, because I mean, I'd love for you guys to see them, but as long as you follow my channel, you're going to see them eventually. So this is just kind of a tour of what I have and how I keep them, and we're just going to have to make do with what we get. He definitely has got it. He still has a little bit of lightness to his carapace, so he's not really black yet. I would imagine his next molt, he would blacken out. Maybe he'll come out. He'll blacken out a little bit. You can see his carapace is still kind of light colored. No, he ain't going to come out. There's a fang full of cricket for you. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so here's my Brachypelma vagans. Isn't she pretty? She's just below in the bottom right-hand corner in the corner of the enclosure. I really can't get a good shot of her, so we're going to give her a cricket and see if she'll come out. Maybe. Cricket seems to have been smooshed a little bit. There she is right there. These also are found in other parts of Central America. They're not just a species that is just strictly from Mexico, and they are also found in Florida because there was I think it was an experiment that was done. They were put into an orange grove somewhere down in Florida, I believe. It's an orange grove, but it's on a farm somewhere, and they really took off. So I don't know how they were dropped. I don't know how many were dropped, but and I don't know where they are found down there in Florida, but they definitely are found down there in Florida. People have claimed to catch them wild caught down there, but I don't really believe anybody yet. Again, you know, a red rump. It's a Mexican red rump. They get very, very black and velvety. They usually have just reddish, or not reddish, but blackish setae hair on their. Try a different cricket. See, oh, that one's going to come out now. There we go. There she is. she's a dancer, so yeah, she likes to do some moves. She's very, very pretty. I really think that these are very, very underrated. People make jokes about them all the time, and it's, you know, because so many unidentified brachypelma with a red rump, they're just said, oh, they're brachypelma vagans, and you know, they're really not. Again, there's some features that you can, you know, rule out brachypelma vagans, and that's any of the brachypelma or cercopelma with red setae on the back legs. If you look at her right now, she's moving, you won't see red setae on her legs. That the setae that's on her legs is like a blackish or even a lightish, whitish. But the sabulosums have, you know, definitely have red setae, and you'll see that one in the Guatemala video because they're from Guatemala. And they look rather similar. I mean, very, very rather similar. And also, you could throw the Cercopelma rubronitans, and you'll get those in the Panama video. So you'll be able to see the three different kinds if we can get them to come out. One's in pre-molt, the Cercopelma rubronitans, but if we can get that sabulosum to come out, you really can distinguish. I can distinguish between him and a vagus pretty easily. That cricket just vaulted right out of that enclosure. All right, little girl, you gonna come out? All right, so let's move on. We still got quite a few to go yet. Okay, so here's Morton, the Brachypelma bamie. Again, if you look at the patterning on them and you go back to the Baumgartenis, once they get bigger, they're going to look pretty similar to this one. This is definitely high on people's list of Brachypelma from Mexico list that they want to get. They're just super. They can be one of the more hair flicky of the Brachypelmas, though, from what I understand. I don't have issues with mine because I don't mess with them. Again, I'm not saying that they don't flick or they won't flick because I've had them do it. The Shorderi's done it a couple times to me, just bringing the enclosure down. You know, not even opening it up, just the movement of it, bringing it down. But this guy's a good-looking tarantula. Again, another male. And these are called the Mexican fire legs, as you can see why. They have a lot of red on those legs. It's almost like, you know, as it red, you know, the knees are really, really, really red, and then it just kind of dwindles down to like a somewhat pinkish towards the bottom. But again, he's a juvenile, so probably about 3 inches he is. Not my largest Brachypelma, but close to my largest Brachypelma from Mexico. I think this guy and Obi by Homori, which you guys will see real soon, is probably the two largest Brachypelmas from Mexico that I have. And then, of course, the Sabulosum is definitely the largest that I have, period, in the Brachypelma genus, with that new Albopilosum female a real close second. So, okay, well, we got to get Kevin. Kevin's coming up. He's the Brachypelma albiceps. And then we will be finishing off with Haley, the male Emilia, and we'll end it with Obi, the crowd favorite Brachypelma homori, and that will be it. Okay, there's Kevin. Kevin again is the Brachypelma albiceps male because he lives here. Super gorgeous tarantula. Just absolutely love them. He's starting to actually become a good feeder now that he finally molted after that huge long period of time that he was in pre-molt. Oops, there's me bumping the tripod, almost killing Kevin, but we're going to throw Cricket in there and see if, yep, Kevin wanted it. Now you're all tangled up in your plant that used to be in the corner. I don't know why you dug it out. That plant used to be down in this area, and he's moved it. So once maybe we can get Kevin to move off of the plant there. Come on. Can I have the plant? There we go. Now everybody can see you. Put your plant back. Don't worry, buddy. He molted not too long ago. Got a little bit of size. Again, he's probably about the same size as the Bamey, probably right around the 3-inch size. So we'll put his plant back in the ground here, in the corner. Okay, Mexican Gold, Brachypelma albiceps, Kevin. Okay, now this is Haley. This is Brachypelma amelia. I have a funny feeling that we're going to really progress into pre-molt here. Again, this is a male. He is an absolute destroyer of his enclosure. He buried his hide. Okay, that whole entire inside there was completely hollowed out. There was nothing in it. When I put him in there, he filled it in. He's moved all his plants, as you can see down here. He gets 2 water dishes because he always flips them and buries them, which he hasn't done with these 2. But you can see he's pulled a plant inside there with him. He just does whatever he wants to do. So you can see a little bit of balding there going on. Now, I'm not quite sure if he's rubbing that off himself because I haven't seen it, or he's rubbing on the inside part of the cork tube there. But yeah, he was a little antsy for about a week. He was crawling along the sides. He was trying to fang his way out of the air holes, which I've never actually any of my tarantulas do except for him. I've seen them put their feet out the air holes before, but I've never had any try to get their fangs into the air holes. And he's actually trying to get his fangs up into like the upper lip of the enclosure between that and the lid. Not strong enough to push it off by no means, because these lids stay on pretty good. But yeah, so he was acting kind of odd. His carapace color has really faded. His leg colors have really faded. But it hasn't been that long since he molted. So we'll see. We'll have to keep track of him and see what he does, and go from there. So again, another Brachypelma amelia. This is my, you can see how faded that triangle is. It was a lot more discernible before. He's really losing his color. Okay, so let's move on to Obi, and we'll be all wrapped up with Mexico. Okay, so we're going to end with this lovely guy, another male, Brachypelma hamori, the Mexican red knee. He's a little skittish, actually quite a bit skittish, to be honest with you. He'll lay flat on the ground, and then you grab his enclosure. He'll kind of scuttle up and get his legs up, and then once you go to move, he's either darting down there on the plants or he's darting into his cork tube there. This is the longest, or the oldest Brachypelma that I have, as far as, I'm not saying age-wise, but as far as keeping. I've had him now for a little over 4.5 years, roughly 4 years. As a little tiny sling, got him in as a 1/2 inch, and has done absolutely wonderful. Took a long time to get colors. I mean, it's so long. You don't realize how long it is, and then you don't realize how quick time goes by until you realize, holy crap, it's been 4 years since I've had this guy already. But definitely one of my favorite tarantulas overall in my collection. A lot of sentimental value with this guy, and he was in the beginning. Again, when I really started to multiply the tarantulas and get into it 4 years ago. Again, I had the Grammostola porteri, or rosea, whatever you want to call it, for 11 years, and that one died, and then we got back into it by finding Monterey, who's going to root this weekend. But this guy was probably number 5 or number 6 in the, when I started to get back into it again, and has just been a wonderful companion the whole time. I've enjoyed watching him grow and get bigger, and is definitely one of my top favorite tarantulas in my collection. So, okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the Eeriearachnids Worldwide Tarantula Collection Tour, Episode 2, Mexico. and look forward to, we'll probably do, I don't know, we either hit Guatemala, Honduras, even though I think I only have two from Guatemala. Actually, I might do Guatemala, Honduras, and Costa Rica all together with Panama, because there's only a handful of them, but I do want to do a country by country, so we'll probably just keep it that way. They may be shorter videos. I may do a couple of them and put them out, you know, the same day. But if I want to keep true to the, you know, country by country video, then I have to do it country by country. So we'll probably do Nicaragua next, and then move to Honduras, and then Costa Rica and Panama. I think that will pretty much seal the Central American species. Oh, we have Haiti. Even though I don't know that we may have to wait for that one, because the only one that I have is buried in pre-molt. So, okay. Well, again, thank you everybody for pushing me to that 1,000 subscriber mark. Again, it's really, really cool. We'll be doing the video for the giveaway middle of next week. I want to give everybody a quick chance to enter, that wants to enter. They go back to the video and the 1,000 subscriber video or giveaway video. You'll be able to add your name to that list and go from there. So thanks again for watching, and I appreciate everybody, and have a wonderful, great day.